just a bit.
Thanks, Chris. And new details about the suspect in a deadly dog attack that killed a 21-year-old woman earlier this week. It happened Wednesday morning on Iowa Road, where reports say Samara Rogers was attacked and killed. We were on scene as two dogs were taken out of the home by animal control. 55-year-old Charles Blackwell was arrested and charged just hours after Samara's death with involuntary manslaughter. Your City Hood got a hold of documents that show Blackwell is no stranger to Augusta Animal Services.
Well, speaking to neighbors in the Ira Road area, they told us the dogs in the area have a history of aggression. Now, just a note here, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office tells us there are no records of incidences at the home where the dogs were taken out on Ira Road. But we asked Animal Services for any reports with Charles Blackwell listed as the owner, and we got a paper trail going back to more than a decade ago. Some of these reports have a different location, but the common theme here is Blackwell's name listed as the owner responsible here. Now, the most recent case taking place just within the last year. This report says a man was jogging when 4 dogs attacked him and then 2 bit him. 1 dog was taken away by animal control along with 1 other dog, and 7 puppies were surrendered. In 2020, another bite case, this one involving a 12-year-old. Now, in this report from 2019, which also lists Charles Blackwell as an owner, it involves a dog biting someone at a Family Dollar. The report says, quote, Mr. Blackwell, who I remembered dealing with last year, this time with a specific dog named Gator, bit a person just last year. The report says, this is the 3rd known bite case involving this dog named Gator. It'll be our recommendation to have the dog euthanized. We also have a 2018 report with Gator listed as the dog and Blackwell as the owner. The report says the dog bit a man on the leg, but that person did not pursue charges. Now, we are still trying to find out the status of the dogs involved in this most recent case, and we will let you know what we find out there.
And Georgia Power is preparing to raise rates yet again. State utility regulators voted Wednesday to let the power company raise rates on January 1st. Rates are expected to go up by 3.5%. Georgia Power says the money will be used to pay for grid improvements, investments in cleaner energy, and customer service upgrades. In progress at the state line right outside of our state. Thanks, Chris. And we're learning more about the teacher killed in Monday's mass shooting at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin. Well, she has ties to Georgia. 2 people and the suspected shooter died. Several others are injured. We now know a substitute teacher killed went to Kennesaw State University in Georgia. 42-year-old Aaron West graduated in 2005. We reached out to Kennesaw State and they released the statement on your screen, calling the shooting an act of senseless violence. They also extend their heartfelt condolences to her family, friends, and all who are mourning this unimaginable tragedy. West died along with a 14-year-old student and the teenage gunman who took her own life. 14-year-old student died and the teenage suspected shooter also died. 2 other students are still in the hospital. In Atlanta, public safety officials are offering their first public look inside. And it's been decades since the delivery and adoption of a girl by an Horry County firefighter. 13 years later, and now we're checking in on how things are going in their family. Take a look.
I never envisioned, actually having a daughter. We are truly blessed, for sure.
It's been 13 years since you've seen Mark Haddon and little Gracie, the Horry County firefighter who delivered a baby, not knowing she'd be part of their family forever. How has the last 13 years been?
Oh my gosh.
Where do we start?
I just kind of wanted to, have a little bit of an update where people were like, oh, she's not a baby anymore. And this is a true success story because she's a big girl now, She's a teenager.
Gracie is a thriving 7th grade honor roll student at St. James Middle School with a knack for playing sports.
When I was little, I used to do gymnastics, swimming, a lot of dance. And now I play soccer. I'm defense on all my teams, and I love it so much.
She also loves music and enjoys singing. Whether it's lip syncing with her dad or belting out solo.
If you feel like you are not valuable.
Gracie does it all. Most recently celebrating her 13th birthday in November with a shopping spree special serenade from her church choir. Mark took us back to the day he welcomed Gracie into his heart and his home as a freshly minted firefighter working the medic unit.
No calls all day. We had just cooked steaks on the grill, just kind of relaxing, and it was slow because it's November. And sure enough, we get the call.
Mark jumping into the back of the ambulance, quickly delivering a healthy baby girl.
Because I had told the mom and the nurses that that we would like to adopt, if that became an option.
48 hours later, Gracie joined 2 older brothers and completed the family.
Over the years, we've just become best buddies, and we have an amazing relationship.
He's always someone I can go to or talk to when I'm having a hard time.
Their bond is beyond strong, which is evident in Gracie's room.
These are balloons from my birthday.
Very cool room. And in the time they share together.
We go to the Hulk and run the Hulk a lot, and we do a lot of bike riding. We're always on an adventure.
An adventure that started with one call that changed it all.
I've been telling people that, I brought her into this world, I can take her out. So, and I'll be able to tell her that. The more I think about that statement that, I brought in this world, I can take her out, I can't imagine life or this world without her.
It's going to be a cold one out there at the lake. Here's your Sunday lake forecast. Northeast winds at 5 to 10 today. The high temperature up that way, only around 48 degrees. Definitely feeling like winter out there, but we'll talk more about a warm-up headed our way on Christmas Day when we come back. Every lottery to the week, and that means a nice Christmas Day forecast around 34 on Wednesday morning, lower 60s for Christmas Day afternoon.
Breaking news this morning, one person has died after running off the road near North South Carolina. Hyundai sedan was traveling west on Rimmon Road near Magenta Drive around 7 last night. The vehicle went left off the road and hit a tree. The driver was the only person in the car. And we are already having delivery delays with FedEx in our area, but shipping issues could get even worse, says Teamster Union employees with Amazon started striking this week in Atlanta. Union workers say it's because the company ignored their request to talk about a new contract. Workers told our sister station they're overworked, underpaid, and not treated well. That's why they say 100% of Teamsters voted to go on strike until they get a better contract. As for the timing of all of this and it being so close to Christmas, here's what a worker had to say.
It's not that we choose the time chose us, and what's not a better time to fight for your rights than now? We're out here every day, we're showing the workers that we're out here fighting for each and every one of us. We're fighting for, like I said, better pay, better benefits, paid time off, paid vacations, better equipment, winter coats, all of that stuff.
Amazon says the unions only represent about 1% of Amazon's hourly workforce, and the strike should not impact its supply chain this holiday season. And demonstrators in Conyers, Georgia, last weekend holding up signs saying, please don't let this happen again. It is the same message families have been sharing since September 29th when a massive fire at BioLab sent plumes of chemical smoke into the air. Now there are growing calls to Rockdale County commissioners to shut down the facility for good by revoking its business license. In a meeting earlier this month, the commissioner chairman saying speakers were not allowed to comment on BioLab due to a pending lawsuit. But neighbors say the chemical fire has them worried about the safety of their families.
I remember looking out the back window and seeing my wife with a dog outside, breathing in the fresh, what we thought was clean air, and I had to yell, hey, come inside. I can't expect to raise a kid if I need to constantly be in fear of having to, where's the gas mask? How do I put the gas mask on my little baby girl?
In a statement to Atlanta News First, BioLab says in part they do respect community members' rights to gather peacefully. They go on to say that they have worked continuously to address the needs of impacted residents and business owners. BioLab has since reopened its distribution center, but not the manufacturing portion of the building. And Georgia opted into several multi-state lawsuits against opioid manufacturers and distributors starting in 2021. Several settlements later, the state has more than $600 million to spend on programs. Now that money is being put to use. One organization tells your Abby source the money will make a big difference.
Addiction recovery groups are trying to stop overdose trends. According to nationwide data from the Atlanta-based Center for Disease Control, opioid overdose deaths dropped in 2023 and continue to drop monthly throughout 2024. Georgia organizations receive a part of those opioid settlement dollars, totaling $70 million over the next 2 years. Danielle Bonanno says walking into a place like this gave her the chance to get sober and stay sober for the last 7 years.
I know. As a trans person, that I subscribe to a lie that a lot of trans people do, which is that, you'll never be able to be visible, your voice will never matter.
She's using her story to help others as the executive director of Inclusive Recovery Athens, which focuses on recovery for people in marginalized communities, like veterans, anyone with disabilities, or members of the LGBTQ+ community, who are more likely to become addicted. People live here. They set them up with jobs, make sure they're getting to appointments. It might take a year or two, but their organization is focused on creating a healing environment.
I think, our recovery community here is just really good at meeting people where they're at.
Acceptance Recovery Center will receive more than $300,000 from the state's Opioid Abatement Trust, funded with opioid settlement dollars. The money means they can expand, purchase a bigger space, and grow their roots in their community.
For us, we're just really ready to be able to put a roof over everybody's head.
More than 100 organizations were selected to receive a part of those funds, but more than 300 applied. The commissioner for the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities says he will reopen the applications again in 2025. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasouris.
Another cold one out there for you Sunday. The lake forecast will have a northeast wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. The water temperature there at 54. The air temperature up around the lake only around 48 for your Sunday. There's a little bit of a warm up on the way as we head through Christmas week. We'll have more on that forecast coming up.
You come to the Hog Law Group